it's still so early in the new year. I'm still spending a lot of time pondering different resolutions, goals for the new year, things I want to accomplish. Thinking a lot about improvements, and there's something that's been running over in my mind. An idea that I think a lot of people get wrong. I'm just wondering if you guys agree with me. There's an age-old line, one that I've heard repeated a lot. You still hear it a lot, never seems to go out of style. Practice makes perfect. Now I bet at this point you think you've got me figured out. Practice makes perfect is wrong. I know what he's going to say. There's no such thing as perfection. You might not have me figured out yet, because that's not where I'm going with this. Although that might be true, there's no such thing as perfection. There's something different I've been thinking about that's wrong with that statement, or something very key that statement leaves out. And what I think it is people get wrong is in only saying that practice makes perfect. It might discount the importance of the way you practice. I would switch it to perfect practice makes perfect. Or under the assumption that nothing is perfect, then we might get real picky and rephrase it to thoughtful and deliberate practice makes improvement. You can practice all day long. Knife sharpening is a great example of this. I get so many questions still, private messages, emails. I've been sharpening for however so long. I have great stone. I've put in so much time learning to sharpen, or whatever the skill might be, and I just can't get it. And the problem isn't that you're not practicing enough. It's that your practice is not good practice. You can practice the sport of, say, shooting. Shooting sports is another great example of that. You can practice that all day long, fire thousands and thousands of rounds. But if your practice is not very specific, and if you don't break down everything you're doing wrong, then you'll just keep reinforcing those bad habits. And over time, it can get even more difficult to improve because you've so strongly ingrained those poor habits that now you're always pulling. Now you're always pulling right because you've never looked at, right from the start, why are your shots always right and down from center? You know, and so it's so important that we analyze how we practice. Catch those mistakes. If you're sharpening, don't just keep, okay, my hands look right, but my sharpening, my edges are not what they should be. Why is that? If you've got the good stones and you're putting in the hours, why are your edges not improving? Your practice needs to be very specific. You need to break down all those problems. And that comes in with so many different hobbies and things we take in, you know. That's why I never ever bought much into the whole, the old saying that someone who has done something, repeated something 10,000 times, I believe the old adage goes, is considered a master. You could have practiced something 10,000 times incorrectly, and you're no further off than when you started. You might be worse off because you built so much muscle memory into poor habits and poor techniques that now you're really, really messed up. Look at this beautiful Aotoshi 2000 grit. The green brick, they call it. Just doing a resharpen here, bringing it back in. This is my own. This is my personal knife. If you see me with a knife out in the woods, this is the one right now you would see me carry. I built it a couple years ago. Took some time and built myself one, and I filmed the whole thing for the Newfoundland Hobbyist. That is my TV show. I'll show you right quick. I'm just starting the polish work here now. But it's more of a traditional style puko. Through tang, rat style tang. The full depth of the blade ends right here. 2 bolsters, stack leather handle. The profile here is just lovely. You see it's wider in the back and tapers in, kind of like a triangle type. Just really locks well in the hand. Beautiful. 3/16 stock at the middle there. Did some engraving, some vine work. We aren't tapered to an edge here. We're about a little less than a 1/16. Saber Vex grind here. Not a flat grind. And not a dedicated micro bevel either. We'll call it a Saber Vex. So we're just going to polish those flats back in because I just used it to partially process a moose. My dad and my brother just got their moose just a short while ago. Nice big animal, big cow. So this knife was used and worked. And if you guys know anything about natural hair, especially moose hair, man, it is coarse. Do everything you can to stay away from it when you're processing the animal. Because if you spend too much time cutting outside on the fur, it will strip your edge pretty effectively. So don't practice something incorrectly 1,000 times before you bother to make adjustments. Just because you're spending hours practicing and you're spending boxes and boxes of bullets shooting doesn't mean you're improving. I know I dabbled a little bit in golf when I was younger. And golf is very much like that. It's no good to just shoot hundreds of buckets of balls downrange. You really need to assess what's happening. You know, they get out their camera phones now. I'm sounding like an old fella. Those camera phone things, you know, back in my day. But they get out their phones now and record their swing, and then they play it back in slow motion because you can do that now so easily. And they watch, where is their swing going wrong? Are they turning their hip a little bit? Are they turning their hip a little bit too early? Are their arms coming in front of their hips too early? Deliberate, very specific, strategic practice helps make perfect, or at least closer to. Don't just waste your time doing things wrong. Just finished up on a suede strap here with a little bit of rouge. And have a look at our puko. You can appreciate that vine work there now. That stacked leather. Give it a little bit of oiling once in a while, especially after it's been scrubbed down with soap or anything like that. Peen tang, you can see there. Isn't that pretty? So I hope that gets you thinking. I hope it saves you some time and effort this year. So your practice on your goals, whatever you want to do, is specific and strategic right from the start. I think you'll get a lot further ahead this year. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here. I hope to see you in the next video. Bonus clip, I figured a few of you might feel robbed if you didn't get to see a little edge test or something before we went away. This is really crinkly paper I just dug out of the trash. Light packing paper. That'll suffice. Thanks for watching.